My aunt was baptized Catholic, but became Protestant later in life. She came to Mass with me recently and received communion. I didn't stop her, and now I feel guilty because I know she's not in full communion with the church. I also don't know how to talk about it with her. How can I lovingly explain that receiving communion in that state is actually sinful?
It's so sad that nowadays Catholics are almost afraid to bring friends and family to Mass because they're rightfully, terrified that that person is going to insist on receiving communion. And we know that in the Catholic Church, receiving Holy Communion is a sign that the recipient holds and believes all that the Catholic Church teaches. So when somebody who is not in communion with the Catholic Church, either because they are not a Catholic, they've not been baptized, they have apostatized, left the faith, and joined another non-Catholic church, or because they're not in the state of grace, these are all abuses of the sacrament. Plus, they really give a false sign, because when you receive it, you're saying, I believe everything the church teaches. Absolutely everything. And if you receive it and don't believe that, then it's kind of a lie. And I think that's actually the less confrontational way to go about this. I know this from experience because I will frequently at my church, when we have weddings and funerals, where almost always most of the people, or a good majority of the people, aren't familiar, number one, with the Latin Mass, number two, probably not practicing Catholics, number three, don't know what the church teaches, I will announce it, and I will say just that. In the Catholic Church, in this Catholic Church or any other Catholic Church, receiving Holy Communion is a sign that the recipient holds and believes all that the Catholic Church teaches. To receive Holy Communion in the Catholic Church, one must be a practicing Catholic in good standing with the church, having fasted for at least an hour under current law, and number three, not conscious of any mortal sin that hasn't first been taken to confession. Now, you may not say all that to your aunt. That might be a big ask for your first conversation, but I think that we do have a certain duty. Now, I'm not talking about looking back, because you can't change the past. And for whatever reason, you didn't know, you weren't inspired. Going forward, if you do bring her to Mass again, I think at some point, first of all, you pray to the Holy Ghost to say, put the words in my mouth if I'm supposed to say them, and stop up my tongue if I'm not supposed to say them. And then you rely on the Holy Ghost to use you as an instrument. And then you don't have to sit there and say, should I have said more? Did I say too much? You let Him move you. When you receive communion, you're really saying, I believe everything about church teaching, about the priesthood, about morality, about all that stuff. So, do you really believe that? And perhaps, maybe that will start a conversation, and you can encourage her to come back to the church, to go to confession. But yes, I think that we Catholics do have a certain obligation to mention it. Now, if they go anyways, then it's not on us if we've said something.